What's good, y'all? Welcome to a new video on the channel. I hope you're doing well. Today we are going to dive into a tutorial on how to make a clean skate edit. This includes Skate's replay editor. I will go over all the basics and give you a good understanding of what kind of features you have there. So I'm gonna go over the camera options, which camera to use for which clip, so orbit, tripod, free cam and so on. Then I will dive into the keyframe section. I'm gonna show you how to smoothen keyframes out and all that stuff. Besides that, I'm also gonna show you how to do the first person clips. I've uploaded a skate part only with first person clips a few days ago, and I got a lot of comments in my stream and also on this video to give a tutorial on that, so I will also go over that. And also, after all the stuff in Skate is done, I'm going to show you how to export your clips and import them in your editing software, going over all the things that are needed to make a good skate edit, for Instagram, for YouTube with the different aspect ratios that you can choose, also how to put a fisheye on them, to add effects and all that stuff. And I'm also going to go over a few glitches that we do have in the replay editor and how to almost remove them completely. There is still no fix to get rid of them 100% because we just have to wait for an update from Skate. But there are a few ways to kind of smoothen them out and have them showing up less. And yeah, this is something that I'm going to go over now. I would say we get started with the video, guys. Alright, so first of all, we do have to get a clip, and I'm going to go for a line with a follow cam. And let me try something cool right here on the like little ledge to benches spot. I'm gonna try a volley up right here. Let's do a volley up, then an impossible on flat, a power slide, and then a kickflip front feeble to frontside 180 out. So that's what we're going to go for. Volley up, impossible, volley up, impossible on flat, little power slide, kickflip front feeble, 180 out. Ooh, there we go. Yeah, we can get that film. That was pretty nice. Alright, let's open up the replay editor. Right now we're in. So the first thing that I do recommend you guys to do is to cut your clip. So whenever you go into the replay editor and you land at your line, just go back to the beginning of it. I don't like to start out right here. I would rather like to start here because I don't know if you have filmed a few clips before. Skate still has some kind of weird glitch going on that when you set, for example, the beginning right here, I'm gonna go over how to do it in a sec, but when you do that and it kind of lags at the beginning sometimes, like with the shadows and all. So whenever you have like a keyframe set right here, you kind of get a weird little glitch. I don't know if what's going on right here, because this is something that I've seen the first time actually. But we do have some kind of glitch going on, and I rather have like a few milliseconds in the beginning to get some glitch. And then after that, when I do the run up, it's clean, you know what I mean? So always start a few milliseconds more early. And that's why I'm going to set it right here. So I'm gonna go back to that. I'm gonna select the clip just right here. Let's say this is the clip that we do have in our replay editor right now. Usually I do have it on 30 seconds. You can also adjust it in the settings right here on how much of the history of your replay duration you want to have. And yeah, these are also the replay editor settings. If you want to copy them, you can. I haven't really adjusted that much right here. I just set my key snap range to 0, and I have my replay history duration always on 30 seconds. I'm gonna go over the playback speed later on in this video as well. But for now we are right here. So whenever you want to cut your clip, the first thing that you have to do is click R1 or RB on an Xbox controller to open up your cutting tool. So you can set the trim start and the trim end. And I want my line to start... Where's the one that we have landed? I think it was this one right, yeah. I want mine to start right here. Whenever you found your starting point, you just click on the D-pad, the left button, and then you can set the start. And you can do the same thing at the end. So I'm gonna set my end right here. I do the same thing with the right D-pad button. Then we have the end, and then we click R1 to confirm. And then we have our trimmed clip, and we are ready to get started with the editing. Once your clip is trimmed, you can then choose what kind of camera you want to have, what kind of style you want to go for. In my case, it's a line, so I want to do a follow cam. But for example, you have a trick on a rail, on a stair set or whatever. You could choose a tripod, you could choose a filmer that is steady in one position. In my case, I'm going to use the free cam because I want my cameraman to follow me, and I want to set keyframes to adjust how the line overall is going to be filmed. If you have a clip asset on a stair set, rail, whatever, you can set it to board. You can change it up right here. With the D-pad, you can change all of these options right there. And then set what you want to have. So I recommend to not use the D-pad feature up here, because what makes more sense is to use the advanced edit feature. So whenever you press square or X on an Xbox controller, you open up the advanced edit section. And in here, you first of all also have the trim option. So you could also trim your clip right here, but I wouldn't suggest to do it this way. You can just click R1 in the normal section and then just trim your clip, go to advanced edit, and you're in this section. This section is mainly used for keyframes and for saving or exporting your clip. So whenever you go in here, first thing you do is go to keyframes, if you want to film with keyframes. So I click square, and then I can adjust my orbit, free, and the tripod cam. So here I can choose what type of camera I want to have. And as said earlier, if you want to have a steady filmer that is in one position, you could use tripod or also orbit. Orbit would look like this. You just have these options when you use your right stick. You can just like change the angle, like from where you want to film, and it's gonna go with the skater automatically. The tripod is steady in one position, so when I set the tripod, for example, right here, click play, it's just going to be in a steady mode and films the skater, but it's going to remain in the same position. And the free cam is the one that I'm mainly using, and I recommend you to use and get experience with it, because the better you get with it, the more cool your clips are going to look like, because it's just more realistic as clips are filmed in real life. So whenever you use this, you can choose your starting point. So I always recommend to kind of think about where you want the cameraman to be, and it really helps to watch actual skate parts from real pro skaters. You can just go on Trashamec, for example, on YouTube and watch the skate parts there and kind of get an understanding how lines or how clips in general are filmed, to kind of understand what they are doing exactly in real life, and then you can just transition and use the exact same style on the clips on skate. So I want my cameraman to start out in front of my skater, because it's going to be a follow cam. I want the clip later to look like this. So I want the cameraman to skate like this, go with the skater itself, film him like this. He's going to go and do a trick up the ledge right here. Then he's going to do a trick on the ledge, and then he does the grind on the bench right here. So I want to have this follow cam. And the first thing that I have to do is set a starting point. The starting point is gonna be right here. And I'm gonna go for a fisheye. This means the field of view. When you are in the keyframe section and you click square with edit and you're on the free cam, you open up this little menu right here. And in here, you can change the field of view and the roll. So for fisheye clips, usually it's between 90 and 100. I'm gonna go with 90 this time. And roll is something that we're going to go over later as well, but I'm going to use the fisheye field of view 90 right now, and then I click confirm. Right now I have this field of view where I can be pretty close to my skater, and I can have him covering the entire screen, so everything is visible. Later on we can add the fisheye filter in the editing program as well. So this is exactly what I'm going to go for with this clip right here. And I want my clip to start out approximately right here. Yeah, let's start the clip right here. So whenever I press the down button on my D-pad, I can set a keyframe. Keyframes are basically just the positions where your cameraman is going to be after your skater starts out, or you can change the keyframes. You can go with it. So keyframe is set. You see right now we got a motion, and we have to set every single motion in the way that we want to have the clip look like. So it's kind of also a bit depending on you and what style you go for. As said earlier, you have to watch some stuff on Trashamec as well to kind of get a feeling of how real clips are filmed. But I'm going to go and set my keyframes just to start out and see how my line can work out and get a feeling for it of how I want to have it filmed. So I recommend you to first think about your cameraman, so where your cameraman is going to be positioned. So whenever you find the position that you want to start in, you click down with your D-pad and you can place a keyframe. So with these keyframes, you can then always adjust the follow cam. So let's say after the 1 second, we're going to place it here, and you see we bring the motion in. And like this, you can go through the whole entire clip and set the exact follow cam with your cameraman to film the clip. And as said earlier, you definitely have to get used to it. You kind of have to experience with it to see what looks good. But I'm going to really show you how to do that with a line right now in this scenario with the line that I got. And yeah, so First of all, I do recommend you to select all the keyframes throughout your entire clip to kind of get the clip ready, but then later on you can also adjust the keyframes, you can add rolls and all that stuff to kind of finalize it. But right now we just want to have a basic layer of the keyframes, so we do have like the cameraman throughout the entire clip filming our skater, and this is what I'm going to do. So I want the first keyframe to be around here, and then the second keyframe can be around here somewhere. Let's go further. This one can be here. If I would place this keyframe right now, for example, like this, it's gonna look a bit not glitchy, but it wouldn't be so cool because right now the skater would jump like directly into us, you know? So we definitely have to adjust these keyframes and have them in good positions. Also, when you, for example, start out with the clip, you kind of have to imagine the cameraman going the same speed. Of course, sometimes he can slow down or get a bit faster, but if you set this keyframe, for example, right now, right here, and this one is then again close, it kind of looks too unrealistic because like the cameraman flies back and comes to you, so it isn't that realistic. So always kind of be at the same distance from your skater. So like this, it looks pretty cool because we kind of have like the same speed. Going normal, the skater is at this distance. Here he gets a bit closer. We can like a bit slow down with our cameraman to get the clip, like to get the trick that he's going to do up the wall better in frame and all that stuff. So we're gonna go a bit back. So right here we can, for example, go a bit closer like this. Then there's the bench coming up. You want to not go into the bench like this, so it's glitching around. So you want to be a bit, keep our distance slightly from the bench, so it can be around here. Next frame can be right there. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks pretty nice, but I noticed here you can notice that my skater is kinda almost like at the same height as the skater. Before we were like a bit in front, so this is something that you can also then adjust. So we can do like this. I think like this looks even a bit better. We kind of go with the bench right here. This looks pretty good. And right here we can also go a bit down to not get the edge of the bench in our clip. This looks pretty nice. Then we get the impossible right here. Power slide right here, so we can even go like a bit closer right here, which makes sense. And that looks pretty clean. Okay, that's somehow glitched right there. Okay, we had two keyframes. Okay, good example right here. This is some glitch that I noticed that sometimes, even though when you update your keyframes, so whenever I go with the D-pad, you can switch the keyframes. And whenever you go on one keyframe, you want to adjust it, you can also like move around, and then you can click update. Sometimes it sets a new keyframe instead of updating the one that you have already put there. So whenever you have like a little glitch and you see some kind of lag, double check if you haven't got two keyframes. Normally when you switch over and you stay on the same position, you got two keyframes in the same place. So right now we'll definitely look, yeah, it will look smooth again, and we don't have some kind of issue with two keyframes. I notice that we are a bit far away right here, so let's check. That looks a bit better like this. To kind of make sure that we are not getting stuck in the bench. Looks kind of nice. Then we set the next keyframe somewhere around here. I want this to be very close with the skater to get like a cool looking flip of the kickflip front feeble. Okay, I think we can set one more right there, a bit closer as well, like this. Oh, this looks pretty cool. And the last one, I want the skater to kind of make his trick, and I want to be slower, so he's like rolling or grinding past me, so grinding past the cameraman. We can set this keyframe not in front of him, but set it like this, like a bit in the back. One sec, let me check when he's going out there, like this right here. I think this is a pretty cool angle. And he lands right there. We can go a bit in front and set it like this, so we have like this cool looking effect at the end. We can go here like a bit on the ground like this, and it's gonna be like this. And then we have like this cool little look at the end. And the skater is riding past the cameraman, and you have this cool effect of skater getting very close to the lens and landing his trick, and then you like kind of go with the motion and just end the clip. This looks pretty good in my opinion. We can go through right now and see how the whole line looks. So this is just the start. So we have set all the keyframes that we want to set, and right now we can also like tweak and adjust them. Alright, that looks pretty nice. Of course, we filmed a lot of the end. We have a lot of seconds of the end in there, but that doesn't really matter because we can adjust the keyframes slightly. If you want, you can also add like some kind of bumps in there. So whenever like the skater lands, we have him landing right here. I could set a new keyframe and adjusting it like a bit down or upwards. And then you have like this little like camera shake in there. So you can also work with that. And I'm gonna leave it like I had right now because I really like how smooth it looks. Once you have like your keyframe set and you like how your line looks like overall, you can then go over and adjust the field of view, adjust roles, and this is how you're going to do it. So whenever you want to change something on your keyframes, you can just, for example, skip with the D-pad left and right, go over the keyframes. And I always usually start out with a little roll in my clip because I just want to have like the camera motion, you know, like a bit of a realistic motion in there. So let's set the starting roll to 10. We can also do like a little lower field of view. So let's go with 70. We can go and start like this. You kind of see how the motion, that already brings a bit more depth into our clip. And yeah, so this is the start. I really like how the start looks. It's very, very smooth. I would also suggest you that you not overdo keyframes. So not set keyframes every single millisecond. Try to have as less keyframes as possible, because the less you have, the more smooth your overall clip is going to be like, if you get me. And overall, I really like how this looks. For example, right here at the volley, we could add a little roll as well, because you want to have this little shake. The filmer is capturing the trick that the skater is doing, and we want to have this little raw style of filming the clip inside, you know, like filming, getting a bit closer, shaking with the camera. Well, let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks nice. We can probably hit this one with 5. This looks very good. And for the impossible, we can also add a little roll right here. That looks pretty cool. And definitely for the kickflip to feeble, we can add a little roll as well. So like this. Gonna look pretty nice. Let me adjust the keyframe also a little bit. Yeah, that looks clean. And then definitely also like at the end, getting a little shake out there, put a little roll. That looks nice. -10. I'm gonna do here -15. If you aren't filming fisheye, like fisheye is always the like same field of view, looks kind of the best if you add the fisheye filter at the end. But if you aren't filming with a fisheye filter, you can also adjust the field of view. For example, right here you could zoom in as well and adjust the field of view to get like a little bit of a closer look at your tricks. But I'm going to leave this clip as it is right now. I'm pretty happy with it. It looks very, very nice. So I'm gonna play through and see if there is any kind of glitch going on. But I'm pretty happy of like how it turned out. Maybe at the end we could add this one a little more down. Instead of this we can do it like that. Pixel, front feeble, 180 out. Okay, I don't like how that looked overall. Let's do it like this. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. Let's leave it exactly like this. Okay, that looks cool. So whenever you are ready, you can then export your clip in Skate. So whenever you press R1 or RB, you can go over here. And there you can also save and export the clip directly to your PC. In my case, I like to record with NVIDIA, so I can open up my NVIDIA app and then I just go close the menu. But you could also like export it right here directly, export it and then have it on your PC. I like to do it with NVIDIA. So whenever I want to film my clip, I go back to the keyframe section. I head to the start. I close my menu with pressing the left trigger in, so I don't have any menu visible. And then I start my recording with the NVIDIA app, click on play, and then I can record this clip right here. Once this is exported and I filmed my clip, I can then import it into my editing software. So I'm gonna quickly record the clip and then I will get back to you in my editing software and we are going to go over on how to edit this clip. You can add slow motions, you can add the fisheye effect, you can add other effects as well. This is what I'm going to show you in a minute. Okay guys, so right now we are in CapCut. I'm using CapCut to edit my clips. I find it just the simplest to do because you can add your effects very easily. You can add transitions, captions if you need them. You can very easily do everything in this app. You can also use Premiere Pro, After Effects, Sony Vegas, DaVinci Resolve or whatever. I'm using CapCut because for me, It's very easy, and I use CapCut to edit all my skate content. I would also suggest you do the same, because once you get like the hang of it and you know how the program works, it's very, very simple. And yeah, I would say we get started. So the first thing that I did is to drag my clip inside. I have my clip inside here, then you can just take it and drag it inside the timeline. I have already done it, so the clip is right here. So first things first, you want to choose where you want to upload your clip. So if you want to upload on YouTube long form content, you can either choose 16:9, you can also choose 4:3 to have a cool look with the fisheye, for example. This is also pretty nice, but in this case, I'm going to go with the 16:9. So just YouTube. I'm also going to show you how to do it for Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, whatever. So the aspect ratio is choosable right here. So you click on the little window right here, aspect ratio it says, and then you can choose your aspect ratio for TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Short. It would be this one. Then you can drag here and just scale your clip up, but I'm going to go over that in a minute. First, we are going to do the 16:9 for YouTube. So I'm going to adjust the clip to wherever I want to have the starting point. As I said in the beginning, we have this little shadow glitch going on, so I will choose somewhere around right here. I do like it, so I'm gonna click right here. You can drag the clip, cut it like this. You could also split it with these options right here. You can this one, delete the left part, and it's like this, and then you can just drag it over here, so you have to start. There are a lot of tutorials out there, so I'm not going to go over all the simple CapCut steps, but I'm going to show you all the things that are necessary to make a good skate edit. So you can cut your clip like this, then set also an ending point. I want the ending point probably to be somewhere around here, but we can also take care of that later on. So there is my clip. I want to add a fisheye. Fisheye is inside the effects tab right here. So whenever you go to effects, you can find a lot of effects. You can go through all of these. You can also type right here and search some. And I have my favorites right here. I'm always using the fisheye 4. I don't know why it's not here right now. I think it was fisheye 4 if I'm not mistaken. Let me check. Yeah, I'm using the fisheye 4. Probably have favorited the wrong one. So you can just take this fisheye and drag it here. You can also put it on the clip. In most cases for the fisheye it doesn't work. For some other effects it works. And you can also like add like some kind of like color or some kind of transition. Then you can just also add the effect on top of your clip. But for the fisheye, since it's an overlay, you just add that on top of your clip. And then you can also drag around how long you want to have it. I want to have it from start to end. And then I want to adjust the overall fisheye look. This is what you can do inside the basic tab here on the right side. So you can choose the strength, how hard the fisheye is going to be. I'm probably going to choose around 30. Then filters, you have a filter in the fisheye. You can choose how hard of a color grade you want to have on top. So I'm also going to choose probably somewhere around 50. Let's set 50. And then I want to have the size not that crazy. I want to have just the edges. So I'm probably going to choose something around 80. Yeah, 80 looks pretty good. And then for the texture, you can also set the texture like this. You can also set keyframes. I'm going to show you that in a minute, but I don't want to have crazy texture in there. That's why I'm going to set it to 5. And then we have our fisheye look ready. So whenever we play the clip right now, we do have a pretty cool looking fisheye effect on top of our clip. And whenever, for example, you want to like set keyframes for the texture, like when the skater goes further away, you can also like, for example, right here, you could set a keyframe right here. This means when you click right there, it's on 5. Right now you see you have a keyframe right here on 5. And right here you want to have, for example, 60. So from the first keyframe until the second one, it's gonna change and gets a bit more blurry and have more texture in it. So you can also work your way around with these type of effects. So whenever you have like keyframes here, you have always a panel with all the effects where you can edit how you want the effect to look like. And this is what you can do. I can also show you that on another, for example, on this one right here. You could add this effect at the beginning. And we can also like adjust all of these different options to kind of make it look different than the pre-made one looks. So we can also adjust everything right here. And this is literally up to you. It's personal preference of how you want your footage to look like, what kind of effects you add, what kind of transition you do. So you can go to transitions here as well. You can, for example, choose a light leak. Do we have some kind of light leak going on somewhere here? These are pretty good ones. You can, for example, take this one, set it at the clip right here. You usually have to have another clip set. So I'm just gonna duplicate it. then we can set it like this. So it's gonna connect these two clips and give you a transition. So you see right now we have a light leak that is going to transition into the next clip. And this is how you can edit it. So this is for 16:9 for the 4:3 aspect ratio. You would just take the clip. I know it's scaled. We have a 4:3 aspect ratio. And then when we go over here and take the 9:16, fisheye doesn't look good on these type of clips. So you either could upload a 4:3 to Instagram as well. It's completely up to you. Or a 16:9 even. But if you want to have this horizontal layout, you can just remove the fisheye. This is how I usually do it. What I usually do on my Instagram clips is that I just duplicate the clips and then I mute. This is very important, mute the second track so we don't have to sound double times in our edit. And then I'm gonna take the second one, so the down layer of the clip. I'm gonna scale that up to 320. Oh, my bad. I'm gonna scale that up to 320. And this clip I'm gonna scale up to 200. Then I go to effects. I have mine set as favorite, but it's just a normal blur one. I'm gonna take that and put that on top of the background clip. So right now, if you play it, you have one sound, very important, because sometimes you tend to forget it, to mute this little track right here. And then you have a double sound and it's sounding like, I don't know, with echo and all that stuff. So always mute it. And you have a clip that looks pretty cool because you have a moving background, but it's blurred and you have your main clip in focus. And you can also adjust like the position. So whenever, for example, your skater would be too far on the left, too far on the right, you can set keyframes of the position. So let's say, here it looks good. Let's say right here, for example, I want the position to be here centered, but here I want the clip to be far more in the middle. So you can just drag that over, and you see you have two keyframes set, and your video is gonna move a bit. I also recommend not set keyframes like this, because then it flies and shoots you over there instantly, you know, so it's not that smooth. So just set it a bit back, so you have more time so the keyframes can adjust. And like this, you can't even notice that the clip is actually moving, but it's gonna move and center your character or like your skater in general. And like this, you can edit your clips. If you want to add captions, like I do, for example, I have the text right here. You go to, where is it again? Text. Then you go to default text, take it, drag it inside here. Set that. For example, do some kind of POV. You hit the best line ever. Take that. Make it smaller. That I wrote it incorrect, so right now it's good. You hit the best line ever, like this. Then you can choose the style of your text right here. You can hit this one, you can make it fat. And you can also, for example, make an animation. The text can fly in right here. You can kind of just try everything out yourself to kind of get a feeling of what you can do. Take that up, put that here. Right now, this is usually how I do my edits on Instagram or on the short form platforms. And yeah, this is actually how you do it. It's up to you how you want your clip to look like, or if you want to make like a full skate part, you can all like drag all your clips inside here, do the 16:9, edit your part. You can add text, you can add your logo, add effects to kind of give it a real nice look. And this is literally all you can do in the editing software. If you got any questions regarding that, you can definitely let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna show you now the first person stuff. Okay, so as promised, I also wanted to go over the first person style and how to actually edit these kind of videos. So I'm gonna go and start over in the replay editor with the same clip again. And the first thing that you have to do again is all the stuff that I already mentioned before, so I'm gonna do that fast. I'm gonna set the trim start. I'm gonna set the trim end as well. I'm gonna end it this time right here, a bit earlier. Right there, I'm gonna confirm that. Okay, so the first person view works out as following. You first go to advanced edit. You head to the settings, then you're gonna choose free cam and you put the field of view to 100. 100 is the best view. You could also scale that up a bit, but 100 is the one that I have made my edit with, so I would also suggest you to use it. I just found out that it looks pretty cool with it. Other field of view is a bit too close to the skateboard then, so this is the best view that you can choose. Then the first frame is obviously going to be starting inside the head of the skater. You're going to be the eyes of the skater itself, so first person has to look like this. And what I always do, and I would suggest you to do, is to go in your skater's head to actually find the eyes and then go a bit down, because you can always see like the mouth, tongue and teeth and all that stuff. But you can just go down a bit and there you have the first person view. So I would start out like this, set a keyframe. You go a bit forward, Skater starts to run. There you see his head also goes down a bit. So you always have to adjust it, and in here you even have to set more keyframes as before. So I'm gonna set that one right here. It looks okay. I think we can even set a keyframe in the middle of it because it kinda is a bit too far forward, as you can see. Yep. So we're gonna set the keyframe again right here. Gonna go down a little bit. I think like this is okay. Set it like this. And there you can see we have the first few frames set already. And this is what you have to do through the entire clip. And you really have to be a bit careful because sometimes, as you can see right here, before the keyframe, you can see the chin and the mouth even a bit. So you have to adjust this keyframe and move it like in a perfect position, like a bit down probably, to not make it visible. This one probably also like a bit down. You really have to fine tune it and find out what angle works the best, what kind of like rotation also, like the rolls and all that stuff. So sometimes it works if you like change it from here to not have the face featured in the clip. So we're just gonna set a few frames right now. Set that onto here. But yeah, this is actually gonna take a pretty long time. The video part that I did also took me I don't know how many hours because I did have a lot of clips in them and all of them have to have a lot of keyframes. In here you can see the glitch as well, so you can probably set the frame right here. As you've seen, sometimes you get this little glitch, like when you go to the keyframes and it's gonna spin. This is also something that I really hope that Skate is going to take care of, but you just always have to get back, adjust it, and there's currently no other fix. Then to just work with it. So until now it looks pretty sick, and like this you just have to go through the whole clip and really set keyframes. If you find that you have some, I don't know, like eyes, lashes, chin, mouth visible, you have to go onto the keyframe, readjust it, move it around, and this way you can film your first person view clips. One thing that I really do recommend is just go with your skater's head. Always kind of choose this space right here between the eyes, go a bit down to kind of adjust it. Sometimes it's even better, like whenever he goes down to make a trick, he's always in the position that his head is a bit far in front of the board. So instead of being straight in the head, you can also go like a bit forward like this. So whenever you hold triangle and move the left stick, you can control the point of where the camera is going to stay, not only like the height or like the side that you're in. So when you hold triangle and move it around, you can adjust it like this. This also controls helper will help you understand to edit it this way. Once you have the like all the options in your head, you can just edit them very easily. But it's gonna take a long time to set all the keyframes. But as you can see right now, we've set the first ones. There was a little glitch again. You always have to kind of like re-watch your clips to see what angle works the best. What you can use, maybe sometimes you have to go a bit down, a bit up, a bit left, right, sideways, back and forth, all of that. It's really about adjusting every single keyframe and try to set as least keyframes as possible. I know it's probably gonna be hard, but the less keyframes you have, the less shaky and weird looking the overall thing is going to be. So I know I just made the start right now. It would take me forever to edit this clip right now, and it's just for this video not needed. It's just a showcase to show you guys how to do it. So if you got any questions about that, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, this is how you use first person. Alright, lastly, I want to go over a few glitches that are currently in the replay editor. And one of them is that sometimes your keyframes are a bit glitchy. So I notice it's not gonna happen all the time when you're filming, but sometimes when you set your keyframes, it's still, even though that you have like a smooth motion, it's sometimes glitching and lagging around a bit. So I can't showcase you that perfectly right now with the clip that we have gotten, but whenever you have a little glitch going on, when you have two keyframes that are like perfectly set, but you still have like a camera movement that shouldn't be in the actual clip that you are filming, and it's kind of like glitching around or like sweeping a bit on the sides. What I found out that really helps to kind of smoothen that out is to go over, and whenever you have a keyframe, you can just set a keyframe like shortly after the place keyframe, set it, and then just delete the previous one. And that kind of smoothens the overall keyframes out. So when you have like 2 or 3 keyframes in one range and you see this little glitch, try out to readjust like the keyframes just by a few milliseconds. And that sometimes does work, sometimes you can't get this little lag out of it. I really hope that Skate is going to work and bring out an update on this, because yeah, it sometimes just messes up your clips. So whenever you have a problem with that, try out to like reset your keyframes. And besides that, also you can see it right now pretty good. Whenever I start my clip, you have this little shadow glitch going on. I notice it, and it's in every single clip. And that's why I said in the beginning that you do have to film and start a bit earlier than you should start normally. So whenever you, for example, when you set your trim start right here, but you want your clip to really begin at this point, you have this shadow glitch going on and you can't use the beginning, you have to cut it later in the end if you care about it. That's why I usually start my first frame like the skater just standing completely still, because I usually start my clips somewhere around here where the camera movement starts. So I always had to like cut a few milliseconds away as well and start a bit later, but this definitely helps. So just set the trim start a bit earlier than that. And yeah, besides that, one tip that I also want to give you is when you film in a lobby with a lot of people in, so when you host like a party and get many people in your lobby, it also is a bit harder to film very, very smooth clips, because the replay editor kind of acts up. At least I noticed it in my opinion when I had like community sessions going on and I filmed clips in them. My replay editor was more laggy and I had more glitches going on. So filming solo definitely helps to smoothen your clips out. Besides from that, there is not really much more going on. If you have any more glitches going on, definitely let me know down in the comments. I know there's a lot of stuff happening outside of the replay editor, like grind assist bumping to 100, the flicker sensitivity going up again, compass always showing up, name tags and all that things. But I really do hope that Skate is finally going to fix that very, very soon. And yeah, besides that, if I could help you out with the video, I hope you enjoyed it, and it would be really awesome if you could leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel as well if it helped you. And yeah, besides that, I'm also streaming almost daily on Twitch. If you got the time, you can tune in. I'm also hosting community sessions, and if you're interested to join my Discord as well, I got a lot of like challenges going on. You can submit your clips. We're going to go through them in the streams as well. And yeah, besides that, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.